At this point, I've talked to so many Etsy sellers who are making 6 figures per year revenue selling these personalized sleeve sweatshirt products. So I thought I have to do a product tutorial going over exactly how to do it. So in this video, we're gonna do a complete walkthrough. We're gonna create the design on Canva. We're then gonna create the product on Printify, and then we're gonna go over and create the template on HelloCustom to fully automate the personalization and fulfillment of these products for when they do sell. I do want to encourage you guys to watch this video in its entirety, as I am actually going to reveal 2 ways where you can expand this product type, leveraging one of my favorite type of design styles that probably contributed to about $2 of the $3 million that we sold on Etsy. So with that, let's jump right into the tutorial. Before we head over to Canva to create the design, I did want to come over to Etsy first to show you the product that we will be creating in this tutorial. So specifically, we will be creating a personalized sleeve floral mama sweatshirt, where this is the product that we will be creating, where it says mama across the chest in a nice floral pattern, and it has a children's name on the sleeve of the product. This is going to be the starting point of the tutorial, but there are multiple ways where we can expand upon this, probably 10xing the potential. So now that we have an idea of what we are going to be creating, we can now go over to Canva to create the design. So before we can go over to Canva to actually create the design, the first step we need to do is actually come over to Printify to grab the product templates. Essentially, what is going to be the canvas size for the graphic of the chest, and what is going to be the canvas size for the graphic on the sleeve. So we're going to head over to Printify, sign into your account, and from here, we're going to search for a sweatshirt. For this tutorial, I'm going to select the Guild in 1800. I'm then going to scroll down, click on to choose manually, and we are going to work with SwiftPod and click on to start designing. From here, if you get onto the front side, click onto the icon here, it'll tell us that the print area for the chest of the sweatshirt is 4200 pixels by 4800 pixels. So we'll kind of take note of the canvas size for the chest, and we're also going to put a graphic onto the right sleeve of the sweatshirt. So if you click onto this, go back up to the icon in the top left, the print area for the right sleeve is going to be 1181 by 4724. So now we know our canvas size is for the chest graphic as well as the graphic for the sleeve. Now that we know this, we can now go over to Canva, create the canvases to start to create our design. All right, so I just signed into our Canva account, where from here, I'm going to create a new design by clicking onto custom size and entering in the canvas size for the chest of the sweatshirt, which is 4200 pixels by 4800 pixels, and click on to create new design, where from here it's going to take us into our Canva account with a canvas that is the correct size for the chest of the sweatshirt. If you remember that the design that we are creating, it's going to say mama across the chest in a nice floral pattern. To accomplish this inside of Canva, we need to have some letter frames where we can spell mama, M-A-M-A, with frames and drag and drop the patterns into those elements. You are able to get some letter frames inside of Canva by typing in letter frame, but I don't think that these letter frames are the style that we are trying to accomplish. So I actually would not recommend using these versus going over to Etsy and purchasing more stylized letter frames for this product. So to do that, let's go over to Etsy, and I'm going to type in letter frame and see what shows up. So specifically, more of the letter frames that have like the black outline, some zigzag lines on it, more of like these styles here. These are also called alpha doodles. So I might search that to see what shows up. So as you can see, there are a lot of different styles for the same kind of look that we're going for. The black outline, some zigzag lines around the outline. I would not recommend probably choosing one where it's too bold, there's too much going on around the letters, because that might take away from the pattern itself, as the pattern is kind of what we're looking for. Also, some of these letters that are really kind of bubbly, it might also not be the look that we're going for. So I'm going to kind of dig through here, and I'll let you guys know which ones I find for the design that we will be creating. All right, so after scrolling through about 7 pages of alpha doodles, I came across this listing right here, where it is a little bit more expensive than the average, so you don't have to choose this one exactly, but I like to be super picky when it comes to what clip arts I choose, especially what patterns I choose for our designs, as those are the core elements of the design, and the quality of the design equals the success of the product. So it is extremely worth it to spend the time of going through 7 pages versus just something you like on page 1. Where for this example, I was looking for an alpha doodle where the lines going across the letters weren't too thick, again, pulling away from the pattern. and there wasn't too many of these zigzags, again, pulling away from the pattern, and that the capital letters were not too kind of bubbly, if that makes sense. So I came across this one. It suited what I was looking for. So we're going to move forward with this alpha doodle for our design. So we're now going to head back over to Canva, where I'll show you guys how we can plug in these, spell the word mama. Then we're going to come back over to Etsy and look for some patterns. All right, so I just got done purchasing the Alpha Doodle from Etsy, where I downloaded it. It gave me a shared Canva file to all of these letters of the alphabet here with a placeholder pattern here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the letters that I need. For example, I need the letter M. I'm going to highlight the entire letter, come over to our canvas and paste it in. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Go back over to our template here, grab the letter A, select everything for the letter A, come back over to our template, paste it in, make it full size. We'll make it the same size as the letter H. Move it over just a little bit. I'm going to copy the M and the A to fully spell mama. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't matter where you put the mama on the canvas, as once we download this and bring it over to Printify, we can then shrink it down and position exactly where we want it on the chest of the sweatshirt. But for our template, I'm going to probably put it right here for now. Now that we have our letter frames in place, I am now going to go back over to Etsy, where we're going to purchase a nice floral pattern to add to our design. So I'm going to search for a floral pattern. All right, so very similar to the clip arts, I am super picky when it comes to patterns. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, patterns are my favorite type of design styles. Of the $3 million that we sold on Etsy, about 2 million of the 3 million was from pattern products. I absolutely love them because you can find a winning pattern, you can apply it to the product, takes no design skills whatsoever, and they sell like hotcakes. With that though, you have to be super picky. Just for floral pattern alone, just on Etsy, there's over 1,000 patterns, where I would say maybe of the 1,000, there's probably 10 that are like winners. And that means you have to say no to over 9,990 patterns for this to be a winning pattern for your product. So where do you kind of draw that line? What patterns work for what product types, and which patterns should we choose for this product? So you can kind of bend the rule, but in terms of the patterns that I choose not to move forward with, if the pattern looks too kind of plasticky, I don't think those look good on like print products. So a lot of AI generated patterns kind of fall in that bucket a little bit. So I'll see if I can kind of find one for you here to kind of give an example. Like this one right here, I wouldn't choose this pattern right here. It kind of falls within the kind of plastic look. It's not meant to go onto a nice plush sweatshirt chest. Other patterns that I don't really think has like the Etsy look for the design that we're trying to create is if the pattern looks too vintage. So if you're not trying to create a vintage design, then a vintagey kind of older looking pattern will not complement your design. So I scroll down really quick. Let's see if I can find one that kind of looks a little bit more vintagey. Like this one looks a little bit more vintage on the vintage side. So I probably wouldn't put this pattern on this product because that isn't the look we're going for. We're looking for more kind of vibrant, floral pattern that's more for a mom, not really like a more vintage look. With that too, if the patterns are too realistic, so if it's a pattern of floral, but they're real photo crisp, actually like photos of floral, that's not really the look that does well versus these more kind of, clip art patterns of floral versus the realistic look. Last one is if they are kind of monotone. So as you can see, like this is just pink on white, just yellow on white, where it's just a single color. There's no contrast. This might kind of get washed out a little bit if this was on a lime green sweater with a lime green pattern. So there needs to be some kind of contrast with the pattern. So again, those can change and move and pivot depending on the product and the style you're looking for. But as a rule of thumb, that's kind of where I kind of draw the line. I also like to do design variations. So if you're familiar with design variations, essentially, if I'm trying to create a floral mama sweatshirt, I'll have, 4 to 6 different floral patterns that they can choose from. And if I'm doing design variations, I like to have the differences be more on the color palette. So one might be a more pink, the overall color might be more pink. Another one, the overall color might be more blue. The overall color might be more black, white, or even red. So they kind of have different colors to them. So they might pop different with different shirts that they choose. But for the sake of this video, we are going to be moving forward with just a single pattern for this, and then you can just replicate that if you choose to move forward with design variations. So I am going to take some time to just kind of scroll through these patterns on Etsy. When I find a winner, I'll let you guys know, and I'll let you know why I moved forward with that pattern for this design. All right, so as I was scrolling, there was one more thing that I forgot to mention above in terms of some requirements for the pattern. The next one is pattern density. How small is the pattern on the product, and how much can we zoom in on the pattern on the clip art to kind of make it look correct on the design? So to give you a quick example, this is a super kind of small detailed pattern right here. And if I liked this pattern and I wanted to see like what does the pattern density look onto the end product, sometimes what I like to do is to not have to purchase the design to test it, is I will take a screenshot of the design. So I'll kind of zoom in a little bit here. I'll come down here, I'll take a screenshot. Let's go ahead and copy this. And then we're going to come back over to our design here. Let's go ahead and make a copy of this. We're going to go ahead and paste in our screenshot here, where from here we're able to drag in the pattern into all of the different letters. And then we're able to double click onto them, and then we can expand. So we can kind of see what pattern density would look correct. So I'm just going to kind of increase the size of the pattern a little bit to about the same, just for the sake of showing you guys. Now I'm able to ask myself, do I like this pattern? Does it look nice? How will this look once it's put onto the product? Does the detail come out, or do I need to zoom into it more or zoom out more? And if you don't like it, you can go ahead and just delete it and move on to the next pattern. So I'm gonna go back to looking for more patterns for this product. So I ended up changing the search term from floral pattern to daisy pattern. These would be two different designs. A floral mama sweatshirt should look different than a daisy mama sweatshirt. These are two different designs. But I had a hard time finding a floral pattern that I liked. So I changed it to daisy. And as I'm scrolling down the page, I kind of just sit here and I scroll and I wait for a pattern to pop out to me. Because if the pattern can't pop out to me, then my design, where the pattern is the main focus of design, is going to have a hard time popping out to my customer. And as I was scrolling down this page here, one at the very bottom caught my attention. And I think it's a great example for multiple reasons. So this one right here, in regards to like this one popped out, it grabs my attention far more than the patterns all around it, as well as it kind of shows as an example that you are able to choose some kind of more vintagey looking ones where this is a more kind of retro style. So for this one right here, if someone's looking for a kind of retro floral or a retro daisy or even just a daisy, mama sweatshirt, this would be a fantastic design right here. Again, another overpriced design, but again, just for the sake of this tutorial. One thing when you do end up finding clip arts as well as patterns, you do need to make sure that there are commercial usage for it and that the commercial usage fits your requirements. This one right here, I think is a great example because as I scroll down here, again, just making sure that it is a digital product, that there is some commercial use here, but they actually capped it. So they capped it at only 250 sales. I plan on selling this product far more than 250 times. So me personally, I actually probably would not move forward with this product if I was actually building out my designs, because I want to sell this hundreds of times and I don't want to forget to ante up my licenses. So essentially I look for patterns where there is just commercial usage, kind of like an open-ended commercial usage. But for the sake of this video, I am just going to move forward with this pattern for this training here. So I'm going to go ahead and download this and upload it back over to Canva. I just got done downloading the graphic. I'm going to paste it into my design here, where it's going to upload it to my uploads. And I'm going to drag and I'm going to drop this into the MAMA placeholders. And then we're going to determine if we need to zoom in on the pattern whatsoever. I think we might have to zoom in here maybe about 25%. Again, the pattern density, this compared to this might just look a little too small when it's just a small letter A on someone's chest. I like to have about maybe like 1.5 of the said pattern going across one way. So you can see like there's one flower here and another half flower here. So we're going to be shooting for about 1.5 flowers across the letters. So again, maybe about a 25% increase. Again, you'll try to get this as close as possible. The ends don't have to match up. As you can see, I dragged it the opposite way, but the size of the pattern should be pretty similar. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Then grab the A here and drag that down about 25%. I'm going to make this one just a tad bit bigger. All right, perfect. So this is going to be our design that goes across the chest of the sweatshirt. It is a nice floral daisy mama sweatshirt that's going to cross the chest. Now that we've created the design for the chest, we now need to create the design for the sleeve here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to Canva, create another canvas that is the correct size. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open Canva into another window here. We're going to create another canvas. And for this one, the size is 1181 by 4724. And we click on to create new design, where this will take us into our new design canvas here, where this is going to be the design that goes across the sleeve here, where the design that we're going to be creating is it's going to have a heart icon at the very base of the sleeve, and it's going to have the children's name work its way hamburger style up the arm. With this, some people they have 1 kid, some people have 2 kids, some people have 3 kids, 4, 5, 6. So I do think we need to design this with the maximum amount of names for the placeholders that goes all the way to the top of the canvas here. And then when we create this template inside of HelloCustom, we can make it dynamic to if there's just 1 name, it'll just be 1 name. Or if there's 7 names, it knows all of the placeholder spots with the correct fonts and colors to be dynamic hamburger style all the way up to the top of the canvas here. Where a lot of the designs for this product has a nice beautiful pattern for the mama on the chest, but then it has a black icon for the heart and the names up here, where I think if we had a heart that was the same pattern as the chest, they would complement each other more. Again, making your design more unique than the competition. So I am going to go back over to Etsy one more time, purchase one more clip art that we can use that's going to be the same style clip art for a heart that we can drag and drop our pattern into. So I'm going to come back over to Etsy and I'm going to search for a doodle heart. And I'm going to purchase this one right here and upload this back over to our Canva design. So I just got done purchasing this clip art, uploading it back into Canva. Same thing, it gave us the template here where I'm going to select everything, copy it, bring it back over to our template here, paste it in, make it the correct size, and put it at the very bottom of our design here. All right, so I'm now going to go over to our uploads and grab our pattern right here, drag this into the heart, and try to make the pattern density about the same as it is for the letters. That way they line up. Let's see, maybe about, I think the letters are probably bigger on the chest than this is onto the sleeve. So maybe something like this, where I want to kind of put this more. I think that looks perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and add some text elements for the children's name. Grab this one right here. And I do believe that the width of this canvas here is the entire front part of the sleeve. So we don't need to make the text elements side to side. I'm going to go ahead and put in a placeholder name called Samantha. And in terms of the font, my favorite font for personalizing names was always a handwritten font. And my personal favorite was the Brittany font. I think the top 2 in terms of name personalization inside of HelloCustom is both Brittany and Apricots. But I just personally love the look of the Brittany font, so I'm going to use that one in this design right here. In some cases, if you want the Brittany font to maybe be a little bit more bold, where you're unable to have a bold Brittany inside of Canva, you're able to add an effect in adding an outline, change the outline to the same color as the text, and then just changes to the letter 1, where it gives it just a little bit of a bold without distorting it too much. But in this case, I think having it be the same thickness as kind of like the thickness of the border here looks more appropriate. I'm now going to essentially add the hamburger style, these text elements one above the other. Perfect. Make sure they're all center aligned with one another. I'm going to group this all and make sure that it is center aligned. Perfect. I'm going to grab these text elements as well and make sure that they are all center aligned. All right, perfect. So essentially this is going to be the template that we're going to put onto the Printify product just to make sure it all goes up to the elbow correctly, or even if it goes a little bit past that is okay. This is going to be the template that we upload into HelloCustom. That way we can make everything dynamic. If it's just one kid's name, it's going to hide everything else, or if it's 4 kids' name, it's going to hide the top 4. But for the actual mock-ups that you put onto Etsy, I think this might look a little bit cluttered. So you can always make a copy of this. You can maybe remove the top 6. So that way it is just 2 names, and you can put maybe just 2 names, Samantha and Thomas or something like that. 2 kids' names right here. And this will be the graphic that you use for your mock-ups for the Etsy listing. But this will be the graphic that we use for the actual Printify product and for the HelloCustom template. So now that we've actually finished our design for the chest graphic and we finished our design for the sleeve, I'm now going to kind of show you how you can take this one design and turn it into 100 designs super easy, leveraging patterns as well as other names. So essentially with this one right here, this is just going to be one listing that is just going to show in Etsy for, floral mama sweatshirt. So essentially the easiest way that you can kind of, recycle the time that we spent building up this design and also recycle, purchasing these patterns is you can now spell out, what if you spelled mom or Mima or, grandma or Gma or Nini, Gigi, Nana. There's about 10 of these other search terms that you can essentially create the exact same design for. Those would be 10 different products. Now it's floral mama sweatshirt, floral mom sweatshirt, floral grandma sweatshirt, floral Gigi sweatshirt. You want to make sure that the search terms you put in your titles and your tags equal what is on the chest. That way what they search is what they see. You can then, use different patterns to make them show up for different search terms. So this is kind of how we were so successful with patterns, is we had probably hundreds of different patterns across so many different niches. We had camo, cheetah, but you can also make a design relevant going into a holiday. So imagine if these were all hearts. Now this can be a Valentine's mama sweatshirt. Or imagine if these were all, 4-leaf clovers. Now it's all, and they were green. So now this is a St. Patty's mama sweatshirt. Or we just had Q4. If these were, bats or spider webs or, candy corn, this would have been like a spooky, Halloween mama sweatshirt. Or imagine if it was pumpkin pies or turkeys, that this would have been a perfect Thanksgiving mama sweatshirt. Or lastly, Christmas, if it was snowmen, reindeer, or snowflakes, this would have been a perfect Christmas mama sweatshirt. So there's about 10 different patterns that you can choose from, choosing from floral, daisy, camo, cheetah. You can do hearts, you can do 4-leaf clovers, you can even do, paws for, a dog mama sweatshirt times the 10 different variations of moms and grandmas. And that's how you can take this one design, turn it into 100 different unique designs for 100 different combinations of patterns plus, recipients, if it's the grandma or the mom. And that's how you can turn this one design into 100, hopefully, at least 10xing the potential for this product type. So now that we've built our design, we're now going to go over to Printify and actually create the product using our 2 designs here. So I just got done signing back into Printify, where again, we're going to search for a sweatshirt. We're going to be working with the Gildan 1800. Let's scroll down and choose manually. And we're going to select SwiftPod and click on to start designing. From here, we're now able to upload our 2 designs. We're going to go back over to Canva. We're going to grab this design right here. We're going to download this as a transparent background, PNG. Click on to download. Perfect. And then we're going to go back over to Printify and upload that design here. All right, perfect. As you can see, it added it to the product center chest. But we are able to move this around as we see fit, as well as expand it. What I always like to do is I like to put it where I think I want it, maybe right here, and always click onto the preview button. That way I can see what the design looks like on the product, as well as, more importantly, what the design looks like on someone wearing the product. Do I think that design looks a little bit too big? Maybe I need to move it up, move it down. In this case, I might make the design just a little bit smaller. I only want it to be maybe center 80% of the chest. So I might make it just a little bit smaller, make sure it's center aligned, go back over to the preview and see what it looks like now. All right, I think that is perfect. So I might move forward with this as the size and positioning of the graphic here. Now we need to upload our graphic to the right sleeve. So coming back over to this design right here, I'm going to download this one as again a PNG, transparent background. I'm only going to be downloading the top one and click on to download. And then we're going to go back over to Printify and upload that design here. All right, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and click onto the preview button to see what it looks like on the sleeve of the product. I do believe if you click on to show more, there might be, yes, someone standing to the left. So you can kind of see what it looks like with somebody wearing the product, where there is the heart here and there is the children's name. I do think that this is a nice size of the heart in regards to it's not too big, as well as the mama is not too big on the chest. And even if there is just 2 names or all the way up to 8 names, it doesn't go too far past the elbow mark right here. So I am actually okay with the size of this template on this product right here. Now that we've uploaded the graphic to the front as well as the graphic to the right sleeve, if you have not already, what we'll do now is select the variations that we would like to sell for this product, specifically what sizes and what colors would we like to offer on Etsy. So if you click up onto this icon in the top right, click on to select variants. From here, we're able to choose the colors and the sizes that we want to select. If I click onto the size, they offer in size small through 5XL. Maybe we want to go as high as only 3XL. So maybe we remove the 2 ones down here. For the colors, I wouldn't recommend doing more than 8 to 10 colors. Once you get to a point where you're offering 4 shades of black, it starts to put friction on the listing. So I'd recommend maybe picking the top 8 colors. But for the sake of this video, I am just going to select the color black. That way I can show you how you can have different graphics for different colored sweatshirts, where now you can see that I have the black one selected. If I click onto the preview button here, click on to show more, now you can't see the names because it's black text on a black sweatshirt. How do I make the names white for a dark sweatshirt, and how to make the names black for a light sweatshirt? So what we'll do is we'll come back over to our Canva template here, where we will then click on make a copy of it. We're going to select all of the text elements here, and I'm going to make the color white. I'm then going to download this one here as a PNG, transparent background, and we're just going to be downloading the second page here and download. Perfect. I'm now going to go back over to Printify, click onto the edit button here. Then I'm going to click onto the icon here, and I'm going to select the dark colors where I want the white text graphics to apply. So in this case, I'm selecting the black. I'm then going to click on make a specific design for black. I'm going to click onto the sleeve right. I'm going to delete the one with the black text, and I'm going to upload the one with the white text. Perfect. So now you can see there is white text for the black sweatshirt, and there is black text for the white sweatshirt. And I can now click on to save product, where it will then take you to the next step where you are able to optimize the mockups, the title, the description, the tags, the price point, etc., which does go beyond the scope of this video here. I do have tutorial videos on our YouTube channel that does go over how to do this over on Etsy. But if you want me to create a specific video going over how to do this for the personalized sleeve sweatshirts, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to create a video for you guys. But for the sake of this video, I am going to scroll down to the new section called personalization and turn this on. Essentially, what this does over on Etsy is it turns on personalization on Etsy, where you are now able to, for the customers, enter in their personalization request, where the customer can now say, can the names be Theo and Chloe? What it does over on Printify is it makes the order routing settings for this product manual. So even if your store settings for this entire store is set to automatically send to production in 1 hour, this product will be an exception. This one will always be manual because Printify now knows that the graphic needs to be personalized. If you use HelloCustom, we still automate the personalization and automatically send it over to fulfillment once approved inside of HelloCustom, where I'm now going to click onto publish, where Printify will now publish this product over to our Etsy account. As I mentioned, you will still need to optimize the listing images, the title, the description, the tags, the price point. That way the product is optimized for Etsy. But once I publish this over to Etsy, we are then going to move over to the next phase of creating the template for this product on HelloCustom. That way we can automate the personalization for when that product starts to sell on Etsy. All right, so last but not least, I just signed into our HelloCustom account where we are going to create two templates for this one product. One template will be for the black text version, and one template will be for the white text version. So the first thing that we're going to do is click on two templates, and we're going to click on to add new template. And then from here, we're going to upload a PDF of the design that we created inside of Canva. A cool feature with HelloCustom is you're able to create the designs on Canva or any design tool that you love, and you're able to upload a PDF of your design, and HelloCustom will convert that back into an editable template inside of our editor as if you created it inside of HelloCustom to begin with. So we're going to go back over to Canva and download our designs as a PDF. So jumping back over to Canva, we have our one graphic with the black text as well as our one graphic with the white text. When creating the templates on HelloCustom, we only need the personalized graphic. So we no longer need this graphic right here because this is a non-personalized graphic. We only need these two graphics here. So to download the first one as a PDF, we're going to click on to share. We're going to click on to download, and for the file type, we're going to change this to a PDF print. We're going to download the first page right here. And for the color profile, we're going to leave it as RGB and click on to download. All right, perfect. And then since we're here, we're going to go ahead and download the white one as a PDF print. That is going to be page number 2, RGB, and download. So now we have our black text version and our white version downloaded as a PDF print, RGB color profile, where we can now go back over to HelloCustom to create our templates. So going back over to HelloCustom, I'm going to click on to add new. That'll take us to this page here where we are able to upload our PDF. And what HelloCustom is doing now, it is taking that PDF and it is converting it back into an editable template. This takes about 5 seconds to do. As you can see, HelloCustom was able to upload this PDF and convert it back into an editable template as if you created it in HelloCustom to begin with. The first thing that we need to do is give the template a title. This is for internal purposes only, so you can name it anything you want. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Mama Sweatshirt. Perfect. The next thing that we need to do is tell HelloCustom what product on Etsy does this graphic belong to. And to do that, we're going to click on to product variants, where HelloCustom will then give you all of your Etsy products organized by active, inactive, or draft. You can also search for the product here, but typically it will be at the very top. So I'm going to go ahead and select the product here, where we will then show you all of the variations and the SKUs for this product, where you can select and deselect which SKUs you want tied to this graphic. Since this is the graphic with the black text, this is the one that we want applied to the white sweatshirt. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to deselect all of the black colors. That essentially I do not want this graphic tied to a black colored sweatshirt, but when this SKU right here sells, yes, use this template here. All right, perfect. Now click on to update, and HelloCustom knows when those SKUs sell on Etsy to use this graphic right here. The last thing that we need to do is tell HelloCustom what inside of this graphic needs to be personalized. So in this case, we have a number of different name elements that we want to make dynamic to if the customer has 1 child all the way up to 8 children. So how do we do that inside of HelloCustom? So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. The first thing that we're going to do is set the max allowance. That's essentially how long would we like the text to be able to get before we want HelloCustom to dynamically make the font smaller to not go past these 2 black dots right here. To set the max allowance, you can drag the black dot to the right or to the left, and it will automatically expand. I'm going to go ahead and set the max allowance for this text element right here. And when it is personalized, do you want any effects applied? In this case, I just want it to be center aligned. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply that to the other 7 text elements now. All right, so I just got done setting the max allowance for all 8 text elements, and I did set the max allowance to line up with the side of the border here. That way they all have the same endpoint for the max allowance. The next thing that we need to do is tag these text elements, telling HelloCustom's AI what this is. These are names, but essentially these are all going to be different names. You know, name 1, name 2, name 3, etc. So starting from the bottom, I'm going to tag this one as name 1. I'm then going to tag the next one up as name 2. The next one as name 3, all the way up to name 8. And last but not least, we're going to do name 8. Now HelloCustom knows if the customer types in one name, that's going to go to name 1. If they type in 2 names, the first name they enter will be name 1. The second name they enter will be name 2, all the way up to name 8. What you're probably thinking is, that's awesome, but what if they type in one name? For example, John. This gets changed to John. How do I get rid of the 7 Samanthas above it? How do I make it dynamic? So to do that, you can make the text boxes empty. So you can remove the placeholder text and make it empty. And essentially it's still there. It's still tagged as name 1. It still knows the color, the font size, the font name, and it will still be personalized in that text box if there's one name. But as you can see, if we make all of these empty, if only one name is entered, only one name will have only one text box will have text into it, and everything else will remain empty and blank. And that's how you can make this dynamic from name 1 all the way up to name 8. All right, perfect. So it looks like there's nothing there, but as you can see, all of the text elements are still there. They're still tagged, and they're still in the correct order. What we're going to do now is we're going to make the background transparent. That way, when this goes onto a colored sweatshirt, there's not going to be a white box behind it. Again, it doesn't look like there's anything there, but the text elements are still there, I promise. From here, we're going to go to the top right and click on Publish as Active. Because this is a multi-graphic product, there is a graphic on the chest as well as a graphic onto the sleeve. You will get a pop-up that says multi-graphic product. And essentially, this is HelloCustom not knowing which graphic on the product is meant for this graphic. All you have to do is select the graphic meant for personalization, which is this one right here. Click on to save. And when this product sells and HelloCustom makes a copy of the product, it knows which graphic to replace with the correct personalized graphic. Where now that we've created our template for the black version of the graphic, I'll actually show you a shortcut on how to create the template for the white version, being that it is the exact same graphic, just a different color of the font. So if you hover over the template here, click onto the 3 dots, you are able to make a copy of the template, where HelloCustom will make an exact copy of this template here, which will save us a lot of time because all of the max allowances are already set, the tags are already applied, the text elements placeholders are already removed, the background is already set as transparent. All we have to do is update the title from maybe Mama Sweatshirt Black to Mama Sweatshirt White. We're going to select the different product SKUs that this template belongs to. So we're going to click onto product variants. We're going to select the sweatshirt. All of the variants that are applied to the other template will be grayed out by default, leaving only what is left, which is perfect, just the black sweatshirt. Click on to update. And the last thing that we need to do is for the text elements. Let me zoom in, is for the text elements where the color is currently black, we need to change it to white. So now when this is applied, it's going to be, name 8, it's white, not black. So I'm going to change all of the text element colors from black to white. And perfect. So now all of the text elements have the correct auto fit. They are all tagged exactly correct. They are the correct font, the correct size, and they are the correct color. Where all I have to do now is click on to publish as active, where I will again get the pop-up where I just need to select which of the 2 graphics this graphic belongs to, which is this one right here. You are able to make the background dark so you can see that the white text is applied to it, which is this graphic right here, and click on to save. All right, perfect. So we now have our 2 templates for our one product over on Etsy. One thing that I recommend you doing at least one time for every new product you create on HelloCustom is testing the template to make sure you set up everything correct before an order comes in. To do that, if you hover over the template and click onto the 3 dots, click onto Test Template, where you will then receive this pop-up where you can enter in sample personalization. For example, if you want to see how it works with a single name, you can enter in a single name, for example, Steven. Click on to submit, and HelloCustom will personalize that graphic and display it for you here. And as you can see, there was one name, so just the name 1 was applied, where name 2 through name 8 will remain blank. We also go over to Printify, we create the product, download the mockups, and display those for your approval here as well. That way you can make sure that this template is applied to the correct product, that yes, the graphic went to the correct spot, and that there is only one name text on it here and not the 8 placeholders. That when this sells on Etsy, I feel comfortable that HelloCustom is working correctly based on the template that I set up. You can now type in maybe a couple names, Steven, Destiny, Theo, and Chloe. So this is 4 names. Click on to submit. As you can see, name 1, 2, 3, 4 in the order from the top moving up. If I click onto the mockup image here, you can see name 1, 2, 3, 4 here, that this template is working correct. I would recommend doing the same thing with this template here to make sure you set them up both correct inside of HelloCustom. What I'll do now is I'm actually going to go over to Etsy. I'm going to purchase this product so you can see how does this order come into HelloCustom in the approval queue, so that way you can approve this order back over to Printify for fulfillment. So for example, let's say a customer comes to our product. Again, this is an unoptimized Etsy listing. You still have to optimize the listing images, the titles, the tags, the price points, etc. But let's say that they selected the size small, they wanted the color white, and they typed in, for example, can the names be Steven, Destiny, Theo, and Chloe? If they purchase this product, that order will then appear inside of the approval queue inside of your HelloCustom account for your approval. On the approval card, you will see a thumbnail of the personalized graphic side by side with the Etsy order information. You see the product image, the product title, the quantity, the variations, and what the customer actually typed in. Again, in this case, we typed in, can the names be Steven, Destiny, Theo, and Chloe? HelloCustom took this order and personalized the following graphic. As you can see, it did name 1 as Steven, name 2 as Destiny, Theo, and Chloe, the correct personalization in the correct spots, the correct font, color, and placement. If everything looks correct, all you have to do is click on approve, and this order will then go back over to Printify for production. If for any reason the customer reaches out post-purchase, maybe they want to change the color of the shirt from white to black, the size from small to medium, or sometimes they accidentally give you the wrong shipping address. If for any reason you have to make any changes to this order before approving it, you can do that by clicking onto the 3 dots here, clicking on the edit button, where everything inside of the approval card now becomes editable. You can change the quantity 1 to quantity 2, the size small to maybe medium, or the color white to the color black. If you change a color variation that ties to a different template, for example, if we change this to black, click on to save, the template will then be updated to the correct template. In this case, it is going to be the white text. If you are unable to see the white text, you are able to click the make dark, where we will put that graphic against a dark background so you can make sure the personalization is correct when it is harder to see against the grid background here. Again, if you need to change the address before clicking on approve, you're able to click onto the 3 dots here, click onto the shipping address, you're able to change the shipping address, click onto save, and we will use that updated shipping address when we publish this product over to Printify. Since everything looks correct, all I have to do is click on approve, and the order has now been sent over to Printify for fulfillment. Well, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much.